All right, here we go again. So you guys may have noticed that I've had a pretty large influx of gear come in lately. This one is my latest acquisition, and I just wanted to go ahead and point out on camera right now, this right here. This was just dropped off probably about an hour ago. I just got home from work. And again, we're just gonna do my insurance policy here and unbox it on camera. Now, if it's any kind of hint as to what this is gonna be here, I had one of these broken before. So clearly this type of guitar is a shipping hazard or something, I don't know. And I also point that out there because that's a pretty common shipping thing that happens. So yeah. So we got the bubble wrap. I opened it upside down. So I know that this guitar had a little bit of damage that I saw that was documented prior to me purchasing it. And I got it for like a screaming deal because the damage was fixed pretty okay. Or the repair was done or whatever pretty okay. And if it wasn't, I can kind of fix it. But this was opened upside down. That's a new one for me. So. Okay, well, first and foremost, I told the store to make sure that they wrapped it well, and they boasted about how we're the best store at wrapping stuff. Well, how come when I pulled it out, it just all fell apart? Okay, the best around, I guess. I asked them if they would make sure that the wings down here was wrapped well, and oh yeah, we're the best. Bull. This was not wrapped at all. In fact, the wing down here is chipped all kind of ways. Bro, seriously. I promise you, the store assured me that the only damage done was up here on the headstock, and we'll get to that in just a minute. It's a never-ending story with them, I promise you. Yeah, they sure did not show pictures of any of this. Because I got the screenshots. I mean, you take screenshots before you buy anything through Guitar Center Used, because what they're gonna show you, I promise you, it's not the full story. So, this is the latest acquisition here. This is a Jackson Performer Rhodes. This is the PS3T. And it's in rough shape, cosmetically anyways. Okay, so it is literally the next morning, and there's no two ways about it. This video is going to be a little bit longer because I need to address this, and I need to address the whole situation because Guitar Center is not being helpful right now. I want to make this part clear. I bought this. This is a 1990s Jackson Performer. Okay, and it's ironic that I'm talking about this because I just made my Do You Have a 90s Jackson video. This is actually a 90s Jackson because they didn't make the Performer series past like 97-ish, something like that. I'll cover all that later on in a video if I decide to keep this thing. So they had this 90s Jackson Rhodes listed on Scratch and Dent Used because it was a return because somebody broke it. So I get that Guitar Center has that return policy. But with scratch and dent stuff, you can't return it. At least that's what I'm told. So, the acquisition. So, I was browsing Guitar Center's website and I saw this. And they had it listed for $199, and I took a screenshot of the listing. So, they had it listed for $199. It's a pretty good deal for a 90s Rhodes, but obviously that's pretty low. So you wanted to look at the pictures a little bit more. So I did, and I noticed the one glaring issue that they documented, and that was this, the headstock here. You can tell by looking at it that it's a little wonky right here. It's not quite shaped right. That's where the scratch and dent comes in. And I keep doing that because does it not seem weird that they put a used item on scratch and dent? To me, that's reserved for a new item that maybe had a chunk taken out of it or got scratched up pretty bad from being on the wall forever, and they just discount it to get it out the door. Because no shit, Sherlock, a used item is gonna have dents and scratches most of the time. Anyway, I digress. So I called the store about it because I needed to check the price and make sure that price was correct. Because if it was $129, that's an even better deal. And I said, you know what? That does look a little weird, but realistically, I could probably get this fixed if I wanted to. And I said, as long as it is stable and, you know, the tuning peg's not gonna come flying out. They said, no, it's fine. The repair's done pretty well. I said, okay, cool. That's fine. Is the rest of the guitar in good shape though? Oh yeah, absolutely. It's in good shape. We wouldn't be here if that was the case, now would we? So apparently this guitar was very popular at that store because I had to call back a couple of times, and I'm gonna get to that in just a second, but I had to call back a couple of times about this guitar, and everybody was like, oh yeah, that one, I remember that one. That was honestly red flag number 2. So, placed the order with the guy on the phone, and after I asked about the condition of the guitar, I had mentioned the fact that, hey, you know, this is a Rhodes V. I had a Rhodes V that I got delivered recently that was broken. The wing was broken. Oh yeah, we'll do that. You don't have to worry about that. We're actually one of the best stores for shipping and packaging. But are you? So I order the guitar on the phone, give him my card information, all that kind of stuff. He looked up my phone number, which, you know, if you buy from Guitar Center, that's typically how they find you in their system. And, you know, place the order and everything. Never got an email. Now, if you don't order from Guitar Center a lot, you typically get an order confirmation email that says, you know, we received your order. It's on its, you know, we're packing it and stuff, and then it's on its way, blah, blah. And then they'll eventually send you a tracking number. Well, I didn't get any of this information, which, like I said, is weird because I've shopped at Guitar Center for years. This is like my 5th piece of gear this year, something like that. So I called back and was like, what's up? Why did I get an email? And the second guy that I talked to, this is after I ordered it, the second guy that I talked to said, ooh, yeah, let me look at that. Tried to look up the account, found it, was like, okay, yeah, I see that order. I said, well, can I get the tracking number, please? And he was flabbergasted that I had called and asked for the tracking number for an order that I had placed, for the money that I had spent. He literally said, you want your tracking number? Like that, with that type of inflection. So I said, yes, please. I would like the tracking number for my item. So what does this guy do? This genius gives me an incomplete tracking number. And I don't mean he missed a digit while he was saying the number. He left off the entire ending of the tracking number by like 6 digits. I even have the tracking number, the tracking number he gave me written down on a piece of paper over here. And then I have the actual tracking number for comparison. But again, I'm getting there. Called back a couple days later. We're probably on like day 4 now of waiting for it to ship, which is ridiculous. And so I call back and talk to a third guy and ask for the tracking number. And they can't even find this guitar. What? They told me that, first off, they tried to look up with my phone number for the third time this time and couldn't even find my account for some reason. I found out why I didn't get an email. It's because my dad's email suddenly ended up on my account. Why? So I said, okay, well, can we take that off? Well, unfortunately, no, not unfortunately. Why is my dad's email address suddenly associated with my phone number? It's never been that way. It was a brand new number that should not have been with a new address that shouldn't have even been associated with each other. So why is his email, did that mean he got the email? So the guy gives me the tracking number, the complete one, because I put it into UPS's website while he's on the phone and, you know, get label created. He has to go and get his ops manager to come back and find this guitar though, because they couldn't find it. So the ops manager tells me, hey, I do remember the guitar you're talking about. It's black, right? Bitch, does that look black? No, that's like a maroon color. Almost purple, right? Like a dark purpley red. And I said, no, I guess the photos and the listing look black, but it's red. And he said, oh, well, I just went out there and grabbed the first V off the wall that we had, and I think we boxed that one up. And it's kind of weird because, you know, it's showing here you only paid $129 for it. And, you know, the one that we boxed up was like $400. And at that point, I almost just shut up and stopped talking and said, oh, okay, well, then go about yourself, right? Because I was like, hey, if I get a $400 Jackson whatever Rhodes or V or whatever, I guess it's a win-win when I only pay $129. But I wanted this one specifically because I've been on the hunt for the Japanese Jacksons, and I found a 90s one, and I was like, hey, that's cool. But anyway, I digress. So after some searching for about 15 minutes while I'm on the phone, he finds it and says, oh yeah, it's packaged up, it'll go today. Now mind you, this is like 4 days after I ordered it. So we've been waiting a while for it to even get out of the store. Fast forward to yesterday, where I received this thing. And that is where you guys saw the unboxing video at the beginning. So after I got this and unboxed it and went through that whole process, I called the store because this thing showed up in a condition that was not listed on the website. And I have proof of that because, like I said, I took screenshots of the original listing, which I highly recommend that you do. I think I already said that, but can't ever be too cautious. If you're gonna order anything from Guitar Center used, I don't care what it is, take a screenshot of the listing. My biggest issue when I unboxed it, because like I said, I unboxed it upside down, so I pulled it out, you know, body first, was that it was not packaged well. And I think I covered that in the original video. For them to have made the point about their store being the best or one of the best in packing, this is the laziest pack job I've ever seen. Complete and total disregard for the lower part of the body here. No bubble wrap down here to speak of. I mean, like that much of the body was hanging out, something like that. I mean, a significant amount. I think there was a wrap here, and it looks like they held it like right here and then maybe wrapped a couple wraps around the top. Slid it into a box, rolled up some more bubble wrap, just like that. 2 pieces, there's 2 pieces right here rolled up, each side, and put a shit piece of styrofoam in there that broke to protect this thing in shipping. And so I called the store back when I was on the phone with the guy, talked to a manager, and basically tried to explain this whole thing to him from the beginning, and he just did not care. He's like, well, what do you want me to do about it? We already put it on scratch and dent, and but I even made that point too. I said, okay, so you put a used 90s Jackson on scratch and dent. I get that it was broken up here, but you know what you normally do with stuff like this? what you're supposed to do. I'm not gonna say what y'all normally do, but you list it in fair condition and sell it just at a lower price. You put a used 90s guitar on Scratch and Dent. Do you do that with any other used piece of gear at your store? And I'm specifically talking to Lancaster, PA, Pennsylvania. No, because I can go on Guitar Center's website right now and find gear that's in similar condition to this, that nowhere does it say Scratch and Dent. Sometimes you put it as sold as is, which I guess is kind of the same thing if it's in really bad shape. But when I see, and I've got screenshots of stuff like this, when I see you putting things like Epiphone Les Pauls in great condition, where you picture a fucking headstock break, you do that. Not from that store specifically, but just in general. You do that. But you're gonna put something like this on Scratch and Dent and then lie to a customer about the rest of the condition. Because I don't think that that right there, I guess that falls under Scratch and Dent. But why didn't you tell me about that? Because I called and said, hey, this doesn't bother me, so you just think that the rest of this doesn't bother me? I specifically asked about the rest of the guitar, and you didn't tell me. But the pictures didn't help either, because guess what? That was not pictured. That was like partially pictured, and I'm only seeing that now, but then I turn it over to the back and you can see where there's chips right here. Guess what? Back of the picture on there, you can't see the chips from the back. You took a picture of this. I kind of applaud you for that. You called that out. Why wouldn't you take pictures of that? And more importantly, why would you lie to a customer on the phone when they ask you about it? Why would you sit and brag about how your store is the best at packing and then send me a shit pack job like you did? And then have the gall to get your manager on the phone and just say, oh well, that's not acceptable. But even after all that, I thought, you know what? This thing actually plays pretty nice. The Floyd was set up okay. It needs a little bit of adjustment. The action's pretty low. There are no sharp frets. The frets are in good shape. Everything else about it makes it play okay. You can pick it up, and I mean, I unlocked the nuts and tuned it, and it's tuned, and it stays in tune. Okay? So I thought, you know what? I'll plug it in, fiddle around on it, and see if it's worth keeping. That's being hopeful, though, because check this shit out. I got my amp here. I'm going to flip it off of standby. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my cable here. It's plugged into the amp. You can probably hear it. I hope you can. And we're gonna plug it in. Sorry, I had to get under my mic cable there. Plug this in to the guitar. Okay, we go to the bridge pickup here. Volume and tone, all dimed, just like how a lot of guitar players play. And damn, it don't work. But maybe both volume knobs are reversed or something, you know, that clearly there's something funky going on here. So let's turn them both down and do again. Holy shit, it still doesn't work. Roll the tone off, maybe it's whatever. No, still no tone to speak of here. So let's turn everything back to 10 and let's go to the neck pickup here and see. We get noise. We're on the distorted channel of this Black Star, by the way, and it's pretty dirty, but that's not dirty at all now, is it? Interesting little thing here too. Let's turn the tone. This is the master tone. Turn it down to 0. Check this out. What? We get more distortion from turning the tone to 0? What is going on? GC. Buddy, old pal, old chum, old friend of mine. Why did you not disclose in the description or on the phone or in an email or anything that the electronics on this thing didn't work? Did you even test this when you got it back? Or did you literally just say, oh, well, we bought it for $120, so let's stick it on the wall for 129 and let the next sucker deal with it. You want to know what the resolution for all of this was from the manager at Lancaster PA store? $20. My guy said, I can give you $20. And he wasn't budging from that. So I got $20 back. So I posted about it on Facebook, and I had a friend that used to work at one of my local guitar centers, and they had mentioned to, and I'm not going to name names for obvious reasons. They had said, you know, hey, I know a manager at the store that I used to work at. He's a really awesome dude. Give him a call, and you know, he can try to help sort you out. So I called him this morning, and he sorted me out. I'm still in the red with this thing, but not for near as much money. And to needle Guitar Center just a little bit more, you guys have actually lost money on this guitar. So you're in the red as well, which you're always in the red because you've got like a fucking G rating worse than a fucking F failing in the bankruptcy thing, and maybe y'all will go out one day. As much as I do painfully say that because I love your used section, but when you're piddling stuff like this to people and you've got your employees lying to people about it, it's just But anyway, I'm sorry that this is laced with profanity, but I'm upset about it, understandably. So at the end of the day, I got a fair bit of money back for what I paid for this. To me, it's made it worth it to have essentially a mod platform, which really sucks because I kind of wanted this to be all original, but it is what it is. If I have to replace pots, I will. I can just take this pick guard off and resolder it and do all that. This video's gone on long enough. Thank you guys for sticking around if you did. Please make sure you subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'll probably do an upgrade video or something on this where we deep dive into it. I'm gonna go try to maybe do something with it now, so I'll see you guys next time.